Alright, how y'all doing? My name is Daniel. I have a lot of other videos, which you probably haven't seen. I just started doing these blogs within the last month, and I figured I'd throw about 10 of them up here, things I've been wanting to talk about. And and I'm doing it on religion today. I've been doing I've been doing my blogs off of the TYT, the Young Turks YouTube stuff, because it's the only way I can figure out how to do a 10-minute long thing. Every time I try to do it on my camera and upload it, it's only 3 minutes. So I said, fuck that. So here we go. Religion. I grew up in foster care whenever I was young. All right. Well, long story short, I joined the Army when I was 17. I did 2 tours to Iraq. I was awarded the Purple Heart during my second tour. I did 6 years out of Fort Campbell. I was Army infantry. And I was signed up back in 2003, 2 weeks after I turned 17. So, if you want any more about my past, you can read any of my other blogs. I'm kind of getting tired of repeating that little bit about my Army history every single time I have a new blog, but I want people to, hopefully that'll grab your attention long enough to listen and stay to what I'm, stay and listen to what I'm saying. Alright. Today's about religion. Now, like I said, I grew up in foster care, and I was with one home for about 4 years, going on 5, and it was from about age 6 to 12 or 13. And these people were extremely religious. I mean, they wouldn't let me read Garfield cartoons because Garfield used to beat up Odie, and that was violence. I mean, they made my life a living hell. And they homeschooled me. They were so worried about me being corrupted by the outside world that they homeschooled me in the back. And this is and I don't want to say religious nuts. I don't want to throw stereotypes out there because I hate stereotypes, but this is what religion drives people to, is they had me, essentially kept me in a room from 5 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, 5 days a week for 2 years straight. And I was homeschooled back there. I had no summer. They just locked me in the back of a room because what else are they going to do? Homeschooling's homeschooling. You could be at home, but it was a family-run business, so they're like, fuck it. We'll stick them in a room next to a huge-ass air compressor. And that's what he'll do is his schoolwork. But that aside, that's the reason that I'm so strong on the whole faith thing, is and why a lot of things I'm about to say will really piss off some people. But they're true, because I know they're true, because I mean, I had the ass into faith crammed down my throat for most of my life. And that's how they do faith, is they cram it down your throat. They tell you, if you don't believe this, and if you basically the Santa Claus story times 10, you're going to burn in hell instead of not giving presents. Well, let's talk about some key interesting things about faith. Never question your faith. Blind faith. That is what Christianity teaches. Never question, no matter what it is, whatever God is, because his ways are so much powerful. This is what they teach you nonstop in church. His ways are so much powerful, and he is so much more wise than us that it is a sin. Actually, tempting God is actually a sin that you cannot be forgiven from. So thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God, and basically tempting God by saying, hey, prove it. When you are questioning your faith, you are asking God for proof of whatever supposedly he was trying to do in your life, if you believe in it and believe in that whole thing. So it's asking for blind faith. So this is someone saying, all I need is your credit card number, but you don't get my name. You don't get any information on me but what I gave you in this pamphlet, and all I need is your credit card number. That's what they're saying, because you're basing your entire life off of the books that, of course, God didn't even write. Jesus didn't even write it. Actually, no one that ever even saw Jesus wrote anything in the Bible. No one that lived at the same time as Jesus wrote anything in the Bible. The whole New Testament was done more than 30 years after Jesus died, supposedly when Jesus lived. Supposedly when Jesus lived. There's actually no proof that Jesus ever existed. And when I say there's no proof, a lot of Christians will be like, oh, there's proof. There's the Roman Mathis or whatever, and supposedly in AD 62 AD, he had some letter where he went and killed a bunch of priests and stuff, and supposedly he had a letter in there about Jesus. Bullshit. and how either Pilate or Honduras killed him, and it's bullshit. So, not only is there no proof this Jesus character even existed, you gotta look at the miracles. Now, back in the day, when people were thinking these things up, kind of like 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and all these other things, 6 out of the 10 commandments are all about God. You know, you would think that if God was going to give us 10 commandments for us living on earth, he would have thrown in, thou shalt not rape. Of course, back then, rape wasn't really a crime because you took women by force back then, or you bought them. Really, it was prostitution, the whole Arabic world back then, including over in Iraq right now. How it works is you bring either straight cash or a car or cattle or whatever, and you bring it to a dude and says, is this gift worthy of your daughter? And if his daughter's super fine and their family, and you, of course your family has to be respected, but if your daughter is super fine and the family's rich, then you better have a lot of shit, otherwise that guy's not going to sell you his daughter. And that's essentially what it is, and that's how it was done back in the day. But I'm getting off topic. All right, literally all aspects of the birth of Christianity are corrupt, and I don't mean like the Jesus story. I mean, like, where it came out of, the Catholic Church, and really how the Bible got put together was a Roman leader, and damn, what was his name? Damn, I did a research on this like a month and a half ago. It was a Roman leader, and basically what happened was he had his land, and damn, fuck. Oh, I don't want to say, I know it's not Mesopotamia. Anyway, he had like multiple religions on his land. He had just taken over, and he had multiple religions on his land, and he looked over all the religions, and he basically found the teachings of Jesus Christ. I mean, among a small group of people, and it was the most pacifist. Literally everything put in the New Testament, the Old Testament is all. Everything in the Old Testament is blood, gore. God spends the first 5 books of the Bible killing people. That's all he did. He was killed people. The first 5 books of the Bible. So he created heavens and earth and all these things, and he rested and he loved us and he created man, and then he spent the first 5 books of the existence of the world, because supposedly the Bible is a story of us, of the universe and God and everything. He spent the first 5 books wiping out everything he just created. Right. So we got that. Not to mention, the Catholic Church only became a church when it stopped having an army. We don't remember all the witch burnings, which really consisted of them seeing any woman that they wanted to rape and torture, and that's what they did. They would take these women, sexually assault them for sometimes days, months on end, torture them for sometimes months and years on end, keep them as prisoner, and then they would burn them. That's it. Or if for some reason the woman wouldn't sleep with them, they would just burn them. This is how the Catholic Church worked. Another thing is, you know who, like I was trying to say before, is that Roman leader was decided what was put in the Bible. He wanted to consolidate all his people under one religion because the religions are fighting amongst each other. So he wanted to consolidate all of his people under one religion. So he went there and got all these teachings, all these scrolls and stuff, all these writings, and then he decided, a Roman leader who was not Christian, didn't believe in Jesus, he was one that decided and said, okay, this is going to be the religion. And it was basically to teach them, turn the other cheek and all that stuff. That kind of stuff is what you want to teach the citizens of a country, to make them submissive. Turn the other cheek, forgive, all the things in the New Testament. Basically, let people step and beat the shit out of you and don't do anything, because if you so much as say, oh, you nasty man, then you're going to go to hell because you're wishing bad among something bad to a fellow man of yours. So really, religion, in my opinion, was created so realistically a government, the Roman government at that time, could control its people. That's why the Bible as itself was put together, specifically the New Testament. All right, I got a minute left. Another thing, when you teach your kids at a young, when you teach your kids at a young age, like starting at 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 about the Bible, telling them they're going to burn in hell if they're not good little boys and girls, you are taking away their freedom of thought. Do you really think that, I'm not saying to force someone to do this, but if all of a sudden everyone in America was like, okay, for the next generation, we won't mention anything about religion as far as trying to teach it to our children. They can find out whatever they want to. As far as teaching it to our children on a parental level, until they were 12 or 13, until they had their bits about them, before they could tell the difference between Jack and the Beanstalk and Jonah and the whale. Like someone could live in a fucking whale, and Christians say, it wasn't a whale, it was a big fish. Oh, okay. Well, that makes fucking perfect sense now, doesn't it? Now that it's a big fucking fish, Jonah can live in it. It was a tuna. So anyway, you think a 3-year-old can tell the difference between the Beanstalk and the Jonah and the whale story? Or do you think a 13-year-old would be like, let me take a look at that? Yeah, no fucking way. So, you're taking away their freedom of thought. And you're taking away their children and grandchildren's freedom of thought, because they want to inevitably grow up and feed this bullshit to their children. I'm sorry, I don't mean to throw out bullshit like that, because I believe in freedom of religion, but I also believe in freedom of speech, and that's what I'm doing right now. Alright, there's also...